Hey yo, and welcome back to The Letter. Ooh. We are Isabella. We've made it to this creepy mansion to meet up with our friend Rose. We're both real estate agents trying to sell the creepy mansion that is supposedly cursed and inhabited by ghosts, and she's gone missing. So that's where we are, and we have just found a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. That was lame. I'm sorry. Alright, so we're gonna continue on. Hopefully, you guys are liking this series. Because I'm invested already, and I'm probably gonna finish it regardless. Hopefully there's not too many jump scares in this game, and I promise to try not to scream into the microphone too much. Alright, let's find out about the letter. Lying on the ground, just a couple of inches away from my feet. Out of sheer curiosity, I lean down and pick it up. Ooh! Animation! I love it. Strange. I don't recall seeing this last time I was here. A few days back, me and a few other agents inspected the mansion to prepare for today. I had been the last to look inside the attic and leave, and this certainly hadn't been here before. Someone must have left it in this room since then. Did Rose leave this for me? Was she here a while ago? I couldn't have missed her though, could I? There's only one set of stairs leading to the attic. The letter isn't exactly in pristine condition. In fact, it looks rather ancient. The paper is so thin and rough, I'm worried it'll fall apart if I so much as touch it. But I'm gonna touch it! But with great care, I open it and read what shakes me to my core.
What?
Ooh.
What? Oh my god.
Is this your friend's handwriting? I mean, our friend? Nothing but words. Help me fills the page. All of it seemingly written with a crimson-shaded pen. Or blood. I gulp. The same phrase just goes on and on until... Send this to 5 people or else.
Send this to 5 people or else.
Oh my god, it's chainmail!
Or else what? Or else what?
As quickly as I can, I scan the back of the paper and peek into the envelope to make sure I'm not missing out on a second page. But there's nothing.
No. Oh, please, no.
My hands tremble as dread creeps over me. The room is suddenly getting colder. I need to get out of here. Folding the paper in half, the sight that greets me next... Folding the paper in half, the sight that greets me next has me frozen on the spot. Feet! Ew! I hate feet. I don't know if I need to censor this. In case I do, it's like feet with no skin and like all the nails ripped out. A pair of blood-soaked feet enters my field of vision, covering in gaping wounds with skin eaten away to reveal flesh, bone, and all manner of things one isn't meant to see. It's too much. All of it is too much. I want to cry, call for help, but the words catch in my throat. Even my feet won't move, completely paralyzed out of terror. Lord, please help me. Ooh. Do we be brave and look up? Or do we close our eyes? I wonder if there's like bad ends. There's probably bad ends. This probably might lead to a bad end. I need to face it. Whatever these feet belong to, I need to face it. And if I'm going to die... Oh, and if I'm going to die? If they're going to kill me, at least I'll know what my killer looks like. A cold comfort. So with a deep breath, I summon every ounce of courage I have left in me and shift my gaze upward. It's the Grudge. This is very unsettling. It makes me uncomfortable.
Please, don't hurt me. No!
Without thinking, I scramble towards the door. I struggle to open it, but it won't budge. Your foot wasn't like that before.
Stay away! Go away! Please, Lord! Make it go away!
Why now? Why won't it open now? My heart sinks as reality draws in. I'm locked in. Locked in with that thing.
Let me out! Let me out! Lord, please, let me out!
It slowly approaches me as I wrench the doorknob violently back and forward. Oh. Ah, I didn't know there was like things. Yes! Okay, I didn't know there was like actual things in this game. The door finally swings open, and I couldn't have been happier. Wasting no time, I leap out the door and don't look back. Bitch, jump out the window. My feet pound against the floor in rhythm with the loud, fast beating of my heart. By the time I run past the hallway and find myself atop the grand staircase, my chest feels so tight, like it's going to burst. But that's nothing compared to the feeling of hope the sight of the exit gives me. Racing down the stairs, I breathe. I breathlessly laugh. Racing down the stairs, a breathy laugh escapes me, and my shoe slips and I find myself falling until my back hits the ground and pain racks my body. My head grows fuzzy and my vision dims as I fight to stay conscious.
No. Go away.
The last thing I see are those feet before all I know is darkness. Was that the bad end? I guess there's different endings, or maybe like it seems to be like there's different characters, and maybe you can decide like who lives and dies, like in oh, what was that game? Ooh, it was like a story-driven one. Until Dawn? Yeah. A buzz breaks the silence. I start to rouse, pulled into consciousness again, against my own will. I've never felt this tired before. I just want to sleep, but the insistent buzzing poking and prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not be the comfiest of places, but that doesn't make me any more eager to wake up.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away at what's nudging persistently at my side. Oh, can I just get a few extra minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. A hand lightly taps my cheek, and something cold is suddenly being pressed at the back of my head. The icy sensation slowly spreads throughout the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling.
Isabella? Isabella? Can you hear me? Isabella?
I think we're waking up. We're not dead? The fog immediately lifts from my mind the moment I recognize the voice and my eyes snap open. They're looking down at me. Is Rose. Another woman loiters beside her, but my attention is too focused on my co-agent to even ask why there's someone else with her. Rose's posture just screams worry. Although she keeps... Oh, I cannot read. Rose's posture just screams worry. Although she's keeping a straight face, or trying at least. I can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily, the feeling subsides after a few seconds, until only a mild throbbing somewhere at the back of my head remains. With little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. She hands me an ice pack and gestures for me to press it where I suspect a small bump has already formed. If the light ache is in the area indicates anything.
All right, Isabella, where are we?
The Ermengarde mansion. Why? Ow, my head.
And the date today?
February?
October 21st? Rose.
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
15, 14, 13, 12 teen. No, that's wrong. Why are we doing this?
She's just checking if your injury is in any way serious.
Who are you? This time, I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her, what with the way she towers over us. And here I thought Rose is already tall. She's like slightly taller. Who is she anyway? One of the remaining cleaning crews? But with how primly dressed she is, I don't think anyone would want to clean in a suit. An expensive suit at that. The gloves alone must have already cost a fortune. She's probably a buyer. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an utmost unreadable expression before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. I can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does. She may be far from a cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like our supervisor during evaluation.
Just do it, please.
I eye them both warily, but recite everything as she asks. Rose released a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance.
You probably should.
Are you all right?
Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. The memory's a little fuzzy, but the attic and...
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crews.
No.
The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last minute...
No, not any of those. I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Both Rose and the lady looked at me like I've just grown another head. Did I say something weird? Rose quickly casts an apologetic smile at the woman before the awkward silence stretches on further. That doesn't look very apologetic. It's more like, It's her saleswoman smile, the same one she taught me back when I was still her trainee. I should show this to trouble some clients, or just avoid trouble in general, she advised. It's also the same one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Her eyes are serious when she turns back to me. She takes both of my shoulders, gently squeezes it, and with much patience as she can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you. You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call. Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really all right? What happened?
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry. I remember I was looking for you, but you weren't in the attic. And there's... whoever it is. Then I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down. Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open. We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose.
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Who are you?
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
Wait. Hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important sale because of a minor bump in the head. An extremely minor bump. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing. Well, when you're a kid, you have baby bones. They're squishy.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house, alone. And in a mansion this big?
Well, there's also the part where I may lose that bonus, BRC promise, but that's completely besides the point. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I return the cold compress to her and push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase railing to steady myself, but otherwise, I feel fine.
See? I'm A-okay.
The two of them exchange worried glances, and Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation, as if she's says no.
Right, you in.
A smile threatens to slip out of me.
If I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
These people are such good people.
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
I don't want to get invested, because they're all probably going to die.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
Okay, ma'am.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
You shouldn't downplay these kinds of things. It could be a serious injury for all we know.
Suddenly, a small cough sounds against the wall of the foyer, interrupting our banner. The woman is looking expectantly at the two of us, her stare making me shrink back a little on myself. She isn't really intimidating. Well, she is. But not in the scary negative way. Far from it. Actually, her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. In a different world, a younger me would have probably wished to be like her. At our lack of response, she coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my throat at the sight of it, and Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my blunders.
My sincerest apologies, Mrs.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
McCulloch? Like the phlegm is part of the name? Marianne McCulloch. Charlie Rose Designs. Interior designer. Xmail, not Gmail. She hands Rose her business card. The words interior designer catch my eye before my partner flips it over. Oh, probably someone interested in the mansion for its 17th century influences then. I won't hold it against her, though. Despite the hearsay and remaining uninhabited for years, the mansion's original fitting and furnitures have been kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find that trip to the past feeling appealing. After all, with what it offers, this place could also be a haven for people looking to live somewhere with a classic historical charm.
Miss McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough.
You didn't do the You gotta do the Frickin' smile.
In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please.
Thanks. There's no need for it, though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place. I thought I should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
Rose's confusion is impossible to miss when she glances at me, and I return it with an equally perplexed look. And against my better judgment, I blurt out the first question that comes to mind.
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. A flash of irritation crosses her face, but it instantly disappears under a mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright? She hired me to handle the interior design for their new home.
Did someone buy the place?
This is the Ermengarde mansion, right?
Yes.
It is, but...
She pauses, possibly trying to find the right words to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. Suddenly, Rose nudges me with her elbow. I don't know. We'll check with our supervisor. Those few moments have given me enough time to clear my head of any nervousness or confusion clouding it.
It is, ma'am, but we weren't aware the mansion has already been sold.
What do you mean?
I almost flinch when she turns her gaze on me, but I stand my ground. Besides, it isn't like I haven't dealt with an awkward situation like this before. I may screw up at times, but that doesn't mean I haven't learned a thing or two in the 5 years I've worked in the business.
The mansion is indeed for sale, ma'am. Today's the open house, in fact. However, we haven't heard anything from the higher-ups that a deal has already been closed for this particular property. If you'd like, my co-agent and me can check with them right now.
She nods, seemingly in deep thought after I've finished. She appears to be a reasonable person, anyway. Given the proper explanation, she surely understand.
I thought something looked odd. Excuse me, I need to call my secretary.
They're skipping words.
Thank you for your assistance, Miss Santos.
With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. I also don't miss the thumbs up she gives me for doing a good job. I can't help but swell with pride. Still, have already prepared myself to dial the number to our Luxembourg office and check even if she didn't ask for it. I will be very frustrated for some reason. Something has already been decided without my or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss McCulloch returns, looking a little frustrated, but with an apology clear in her face. I feel a little sorry for her having to go through all this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here. I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
I like that they all have different accents.
Certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive.
Smile.
And, Isabella? I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those.
Yes, I'm going to leave and take your car with me.
Can you please get it for me?
Sure. Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing me a set of keys.
And hurry! We've still got a few minutes to double check those papers.
Don't I have my own papers?
Okay, got it.
The two of them disappear behind the parlor's door. Their departure brings with it a stillness to keep me company, neither welcoming nor comforting. Alone like this, it's impossible not to think of what really happened. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. Then again, Rose already said she didn't receive any call from me. Was it just paranoia? A temporary lapse of having heard all those tales about this place? Probably. I want to think of it as such. Better to think of it as such, so I can work in peace. Except a small part of my mind begs to differ, and if I'm going to be completely honest with myself, I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I don't know what's in this house, and I don't want to know. The keys Rose has just handed me dig into my palm, its jagged edges creating shallow ridges on my skin from how hard I'm clutching it. It's a reminder of what I still need to do, and why I'm taking this job in the first place. Hugging my blazer closely to my body, I exit the house to get what Rose asked of me. Just a few more hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money. Hello! My hand is on Z. A flock of people have already gathered in the mansion's front yard by the time we officially open the doors. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled or underdressed, standing in their presence. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in fancy suits, lovely dresses of varying colors, composed the medium-sized crowd. Their necks, arms, and fingers are adorned with silver and gold glints in the afternoon sun. Some even have ridiculously fancied feathered hats on their heads. I really hope there aren't any magpies living nearby, like in the stories. Those birds will have a field day in this. They are murmuring among themselves, looking at the estate's facade appraisingly, with some arguing about whose mansion has the superior architecture. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased at being ordered around, but what can they do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Isn't the ground floor the first floor? Hearing this, a few wander to me. They are mostly old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those stairs. Miss McCulloch, who also joins our group, but what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches.
It's so nice to finally meet you!
when Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town. I knew I had to get you.
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
I don't like your voice.
Oh, you know each other?
Not at all, ma'am.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Oh, yes, I think I did.
They must be the clients she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere before. Some magazine? Or the television? I can't quite remember. But then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on the news one way or another. I won't be surprised if these two already have. For people who are popular, though, they aren't dressed as loudly as the others, and in their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman in particular is stunning enough to turn the heads of most people in the group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind, though. And if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I say he's basking in the attention. Both of them, in fact. I think they're brother and sister, if it wasn't for their public display of affection. Oh, I think they are brother and sister. Their matching rings on their finger just cement the fact that they are indeed a couple. My only sunshine. That'll probably be important later. Whatever. Couple or not, what's important is we get this deal closed before the current owners can even think of canceling the listing. I just hope that one of the people in my or Rose's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. When they aren't whispering among themselves or oohing and awing over things or another, they ask questions. From how the restoration process went to the history of the place, I answered them all, more than happy to talk about the art pieces and architecture, mostly. However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Not a good material for sales talk, even if the entire population of Luxembourg knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty.
Even the glass thing. Colorful ones. Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope.
Stained glass?
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancé of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
By the time I've stopped talking, her attention is already elsewhere.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
I think it's weird when, like, characters have, like, a large top and, like, no bottom.
It is splendid, ma'am. But isn't it a little too early to make plans when no deal has been signed yet?
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything. Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
The rest of their conversation gets lost in the chatter of our companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to give me some semblance of hope. Oh, please, 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 let these guys buy the one. Eventually, our group reaches the kitchen. Ooh, knife. I see that knife. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put in retaining the room's classical appeal. I see this trapdoor. I don't like it. The open hearth at the end of the room in particular looks amazing, like the ones I've only seen in fairy tale books. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Seriously, after overhearing hundreds of their complaints about the soot and tar staining the bricks, and how much of a pain in the arse cleaning this will be, they still managed to pull it off. Or make it look presentable, at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
Is it a wine cellar? Or a murder dungeon? A sex dungeon?
Oh, don't say anything yet. An underground wine cellar.
This is the first time the guy in gray speaks up, Mr. Luke Wright. My memory supplies from the forms they signed earlier. His sudden attentiveness catches me off guard. Since the start of the tour, only his wife has shown any form of genuine interest in the place. But this time something lights up in his eyes at the mention of the Undercroft. What's so interesting about the basement? I really don't understand rich people sometimes. Right now, he just gives me the impression of a child who has seen what he absolutely wants for Christmas. I've always found it cute whenever I see children act that way, my younger siblings especially. On a grown man, it's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
That's a huge party.
Truly. And the room, how was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar have been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room. It's a good place to keep your private collection in if you have one, sir.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard? Perhaps you could start one here.
Oh.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
And this isn't big enough?
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it. We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
There's a contemplative expression on Mr. Wright's face, but he doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems really pleased that he has started to show interest, if only a little. I smile to myself. I may not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I'm sure he'll know how to spot a buyer with sincere interest. Score. I can't wait to tell Rose. The rest of the tour goes by without a hitch. After more than half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room on the ground floor, and are heading to the parlor. Funny, this is the first time BRC had us survey the property. I kept complaining to Rose how big it is. Now I can't even bring myself to care, no matter how much my feet hurt. Maybe this is just my excitement over a possible sale? Oh. Is that whispering? When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. It starts off as small goosebumps on my skin, a feeling of being watched intently. Whispers in my ear, and shadows dancing lurking in the corner of my vision. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look. A chill settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break out in a cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting for a break anyway. If I can just...
Excuse me? Everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we prepared.
Smart.
If anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
I let them sit a while. I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out my lips in a silent prayer, until a hand taps my shoulder. And with that, that is the end of the episode, because it's been over 30 minutes, and visual novels are hard to pace. But, again, if you are enjoying this series, please make sure that you're letting me know. And thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I post, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!